yo. Crazy, but you know what I mean? So you get it all mixed up in the sport of college football, and you can't just think that somebody's just gonna transition and make that transition smoothly, because it don't happen like that all the time, and the lack of development going around matters. It matters. It just does. It matters. And we'll Yo, what up with y'all, man? What's cracking? Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Let me play some beats, man. Yeah, let me play some beats or something. Let's get it. Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's cracking with y'all, man? What's up? What's up with everybody, man? I hope that everybody tuned in, had a good Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Post-game live and all that. Had to watch the game. And I went through a whole bunch of notes. I got a whole ass of notes up here, man. A whole bunch, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the link out there, man, for anybody that want to come up and you want to share your thoughts on the game. You more than welcome to come up, man. Yo, it was a crazy game. It was a good game. I knew the Seahawks was going to win. I picked them to win. That's how I felt from the door. I didn't think that the Patriots stood a chance against that Seahawks defense, how they rebuilt. We talked about that. Me and as a matter of fact, it was me and AR, me and Motivated Dedicated. Me and Motivated came up. He came up on the last show. We talked a little bit about the Super Bowl, his picks, and we actually sat down and we talked about it. You know what I mean? And I picked them to win. Am I always right with that? No, heck no, I ain't always right. But you know what I'm saying? But the thing was, they pulled it off, man. The Seahawks got the victory. I will say this, them Notre Dame boys showed up big, that safety. He also, the Notre Dame boys came to play. They did. A couple of players from Notre Dame got busy. You see Murphy on that defensive line from the Seattle Seahawks. He got busy today. It was a lot of pressure on both of the quarterbacks defensively. And I think it came down to Sam Darnold's little bit of veteranness that he had with him that helped him overcome the adversities in that football game, that helped him deal with the pressure of that moment. And it's crazy because if you really think about it, right, Sam Darnold won 14 games last year with the Minnesota Vikings. They go into the playoffs and he loses, right? He loses in the playoffs. First ever playoff run. So his second ever playoff run, he goes all the way to the Super Bowl, leads his team to the Super Bowl, and manages the team to a win. And that's all you really got to do as a quarterback is just manage the offense, not turn the ball over, not make bad decisions, don't get flustered. Drake May, him being young, it showed in that game. His inexperience, his maturity, it showed in that game as the game went on. You know what I mean? Early on, his timing was off, as we all learned, and we know the quarterback position and throwing, a lot of that has to do with timing. You know what I mean? It's the timing of your pass, and you know that's all it really is. You know, when they're throwing the ball, it's a lot is it with timing, your steps, your mechanics, all that's timing, and the defense was able to throw that off and get him flustered and speed up his clock, right? And as the game went on, Drake May started calming down, but it was like a little too late, you know. And you seen him making good reads, knowing where the hot was immediately, feeling where the pressure was coming from, stepping up in the pocket, running the ball. Like, so we seen the maturity of Drake May grow before us. He will be a good quarterback in this league to reckon with, because this experience is going to stick with him forever. I think it's going to put another hunger on Drake May going through this Super Bowl and losing like this. But shout out to the Seattle Seahawks, man. I mean, I don't want to take nothing from the Seattle Seahawks because they played outstanding the whole year. Like I said last show, you know, the last time I was up here. Look, man, when the way they beat my Pittsburgh Steelers and the fashion they did that, I was like, this team is different. Like the way that they literally bullied, and it was a lot of class. If you could say that, if that even makes sense, getting bullied with class, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, okay, they was winning at the line of scrimmage against the Steelers, but they were doing it like just finesse, you know, push it, bull rushing, and it just looked so great. Everything they did was so good. The pass breakups, good coverage. You had the cornerback sitting right in the receiver's hip pockets. Man, it was just great football. It was a Picasso painting that they put on us. And when that happened, it really opened me up to that Seattle Seahawks team, and I started, rooting for them. They're in the NFC, so I'm looking at. I just love football. You know what I mean? I'm a Steeler fan, but I'm a football fan too. You know what I mean? So I'm watching the Seahawks, and I'm like, man, the Seahawks is just dominating. Like, they going crazy. And what I'm saying? So, and I followed them throughout the whole year. And here's in the Super Bowl playing the Patriots, a team that we were able to beat. And I think that was because of the inexperience with Drake May. But that Patriots team is going to stick around. I think that, I think they'll be back, man. I think that they'll be one of these teams in the AFC now that is possibly up for the running. As long as they got Drake May at quarterback, Travion Henderson, he hasn't, this is his first year really us seeing him bust out. So they'll be around, man. I mean, both of these teams will be around. You know what I mean? Sam Darnold, you could say that some could argue and say that he's young, as far as age goes, but as far as the tread on the tires, that's good still. You know what I mean? He's only he's played, but as far as starting, he took some years off, man. A lot of years off to get his game right, to get his mind right, to learn to reestablish himself in the game of the NFL. And now look, he's a Super Bowl champion, and you can't take that away from them, man. Kenneth Walker, though, MVP in my eyes, man. I didn't, as I know, I hit the button, so I don't know right now if he received the MVP. But to me, watching that game, the defense did get 7 sacks, so that is a lot. You know what I mean? That's a Super Bowl record. But Kenneth Walker, man, without him, I don't think the Seahawks, they don't do what they did tonight. You know what I mean? That Seattle Seahawks offensive line, they came to play, they came to work. So, obviously offensive lines don't get trophies, but if they were able to get one, you got to give it to those guys, right? They the real MVPs, but Kenneth Walker probably will walk away with that trophy, but largely because of that Seattle Seahawks offense, because the offensive line was just mauling against one of the best in the league, in the Patriots defensive line. They that offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks got down, and they start mauling on them, and Kenneth Walker was able to be patient back there and watch those holes open up and hit them right when he needed to. I've seen a lot of outside zone and inside zone, but if it's working, they keep going to it. Why stop it? You know what I mean? It's like, it's like that move. You ever played like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter with somebody, Marvel versus Capcom, and they keep hitting you with that same move, but it beat everybody in the house, and you got to keep passing the controller, and you get mad at them, like, you just keep doing that one weak move, like, but it's working, you know what I mean? It's like, and it gets you mad too. It gets you so bad, it does, man. Speaking of the games, like, I like using Chun-Li or Marvel versus Capcom because she got that real quick leg that you can't get close to her. So I hit you with that. When people get mad, they get mad, you know what I'm saying? They start trying to make fun of your move, like, all you do is that Scorpion, get over here. Or all you do is that Chun-Li, you may be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? They guys got their jokes. They be tight, like, you keep doing the same weak move. Like, but hey, you got to pass the controller. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? That part, But yeah, man, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? They couldn't stop it, man. It was there, and he was making beautiful reads too. A lot of that zone running, the running back got to be on page 2. You know what I'm saying? The linemen, they hit their blocks, but the running back has to see the hole. If the running back ain't seeing the hole, it don't work. And Kenneth Walker's vision tonight was excellent. And you can say that the Patriots tackling wasn't there in the first half, or you could just say that Kenneth Walker was blowing through it. I mean, either or. I do fundamentally think that they were a little bit off in the first half of that football game. You could say that. Some will say that. But look, they did come out in the second half and they made adjustments, and then they started rolling. Both teams did, as you can see. I mean, with the Seahawks, it doesn't seem like they did much, but I think they had to mix it up a little bit in the second half. Now, I wasn't Now, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't pay too much attention to the defensive line and what they was doing in the first half of the football game. But the second half, I did see some twists and stunts and for the Seahawks, and they only was bringing their four. They was only doing that with 4 down defensive linemen. But I did see them twisting and stunting in the second half. I didn't really notice that in the first half. Could be wrong, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't notice that too much of the defensive line movement or them trying to confuse the offensive line of the Patriots. It seemed like they were just winning with bull rush speed and trying to keep Drake May contained in that pocket. And I think they did a fair job of doing that too, because Drake May will skate on you. Believe that. He will skate on you. I did take notes, though. I did take a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes this game, for sure. I did. Definitely did. Came prepared. So in the first half of the game, I mean, like the beginning of the game, obviously, you know what I'm saying, the big Cooper Kupp catch. Now, I know a lot of y'all like, man, yo, they expected me to come in here because I had a whole thing planned. I was like, I'm about to come in here and light up the referees. I thought the referees was going, with this game, I honestly thought the refs was going to make some calls or some, do something to make the game one-sided. And they didn't do that. The referees did not do that this game. They even let a whole fight slide. And look, and as crazy as it sounds, I know there's going to be a lot of sports casters, sports analysts, content creators, so forth and so on. That's going to talk about that fights that Diggs and Jones had on the field and say that's unacceptable in football. But why is that unacceptable in football? Why? Why is it unacceptable in football? Hockey's a professional sport too. And you might say it's even more deadly. Like, you don't want to beef on the ice with somebody who got a blade on the bottom of their shoe that could cut your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, they got a whole weapon with them all times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you watch some bloopers in the hockey, you actually see people getting their face slashed with skates and necks. And, you know what I mean? There's been death on the ice with that. You know what I mean? And they rumble. They let the hockey players rumble. I think they need to let the NFL players rumble. You ain't gonna see nobody spitting on nobody. You're gonna see a whole different level of respect for your fellow player. You know what I'm saying? Or the opposition. You're gonna see a whole different level of respect on the football field when you start letting them rumble. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, all right, hold up. You know what I mean? First one hit the deck. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna blow the whistle. Go ahead, get your rumble on. You know what I mean? Let's get it. You know what I mean? Let's square them up. Get in a circle. Y'all could hoot and holler all you want to. You know what I'm saying? Blow the whistle. Soon as first month hit the ground, fight over. You know what I'm saying? Let's break it up. Now, I think that'll solve a lot of problems. But look, they even said all that to say they even let them rumble and they ain't throw a flag. So, I can't even really get on the refs this game. This was a game that was a defensive game. I don't know if y'all thought it was boring in the first half. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if there's some people out there saying it was boring. I wonder if, if Uncle Shay talking about it's boring or whatever. I don't think these games is boring. I think it's a painting. I think when you know the sport and when you don't see as much action or if you don't see all the touchdowns, but when you know the sport, like we know the sport of football, we understand what the defense was doing was beautiful. It was like the Mona Lisa of football. You know what I'm saying? Like they was painting a beautiful picture for us out there. We've seen a Christian Gonzo. You know what I'm saying? I like to call him Gonzo. Christian Gonzalez out there. You say, what up, Cliff? What's going on with you, Cliff? Shout out to Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like we seen that. So he was balling on defense. He really was. Christian Gonzalez, he was out there balling, going off. Another Patriots defensive back, Woodson, he had a game. He had a good game, Woodson did. He was coming up on the run. He made some pass plays. And when you see the you know what I'm saying, the formations they was in and what they were doing, it's just so beautiful when you know what's going on. Like a boxing match. You might not know what's going on. It might be boring because they ain't a knockout, but the boxers that know what's going on, like they love that. Like, oh yeah, he slipped that kidney punch, came up with a right hook, with a counter right hook. Like they be knowing what's going on. So if you don't know, you don't know. But that's all I was saying that. But look, I loved the game. I did. I loved it. In the first, what else was I getting on? Oh yeah, the first half, the catch by Cooper Kupp. In the first quarter, I think it was early on, like 13 minutes left in the game, as my notes is telling me. It was a big catch. Did he catch that pass? Was that a bump? Was that I thought that play might come in later on because it led to 3 points, but at this point, it don't even matter, right? It don't even matter if it was an incomplete pass, right? Because guess what? They got pitted, they got beat on. They did. They just got beat on. It didn't even matter. That little 3 points that catch led to didn't matter nothing. And the Patriots first run, I mean, what was it? They came out. The Patriots came out with like 2 runs, 2 check downs. Then he got sacked, but then Drake May had a long scramble, but then Weatherspoon had blitzed on him. Drake May, he had to throw it away. It was a punt. He did get outside of the pocket when Weatherspoon came and applied pressure. And the Seahawks' second drive, I think it was a Jalen Hawkins. It was Jalen Hawkins, right? And Jackson Smith and Jigba, man, with Darnold. Remember that? And they missed him on that pass. They blitzed him, and Jackson Smith and Jigba was wide open, and he just missed him. It was nobody in front of him. Nobody was there. It was touchdown. It was a touchdown for sure. You said, yeah, the Pats. You said they trash. You said they trash, bro. Yeah, bro. I mean, like, it is what it is. You said Drake looked lost out there, man. They said Drake made like. He did, like, you know what it was, like, man. I talked about it when I first came on. It was his immaturity in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they threw his timing off. Like, great quarterbacks, and when they get their timing is everything with the pass. And when you throw that off just by a little bit, like all the time, you don't got to get a sack. Hurries, knockdowns, that matters in the game of football. Getting to the quarterback, getting in his mind, because that's messes up his clock. He's back there counting, believe it or not. Like, and when he go back watching his film, this is the kind of things they look at on the sideline. Like, okay, how long do I actually got? You know what I mean? To when I'm dropping back in my 5-step drop or my 3-step drop to get this hook or out route or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? They're counting that, and his timing was off, and moving a little bit to your right or a little bit to your left is just messing up enough. And that's why it was a great masterclass by both defensive coordinators on what they were doing to the quarterbacks. And the difference was in this game, once again, is the veteran and Sam Darnold being around, and you know what I'm saying, and taking those hits. He was the Patriots, the blitz was getting there. They were hitting them. They were getting the hits on Sam Darnold, but he was just in the pocket, taking those hits, delivering the ball. And Drake May's just not used to that chat. He got a lot to learn. And he did look lost in the first half. But in the second half, and it was late in the game. I was it like late third quarter where it started looking like he was catching on to things, and things started finally clicking for him, and he started rolling a little bit. But that interception, he got reckless. That was the hero in him. That was that. I gotta get something. I gotta get something going. That's that immaturity. I gotta get something going. Man, you still got like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just move the chains, man. Just move the chains. You ain't gotta throw a deep pass right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you threw 2 deep passes, but it was like 220-something yard completions to Matt Collins on that one drive. It was like a 24-yard pass that he threw to Matt Collins. He caught it, and then he threw another one that happened to be a over-the-shoulder touchdown. But, like, you ain't got to keep hitting those downfield. You ain't got to keep taking those chances. His running backs was killing it. Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, the check downs that he was throwing, they were killing it. They was getting first downs off of those. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they should have kind of stuck with, man. When you got four, that pressure coming with 4 like that, screens, I thought some running back screens could have helped the Patriots today. Maybe some tight end screens, some across the middle. Hunter Henry, that was there. A lot of stuff. What you say? I didn't see what you said, Amanda, because he said great analogy, Amanda. You said he looked like Shador holding a ball for 40 days and 40 nights. You said, yeah, he got greedy and threw an interception. Yeah. Like, he did look like Shador holding the ball. He didn't know. He didn't understand what was going on. He didn't. They confused him. So they did a great job confusing him. And that's where that inexperience comes in at, man. They did a great job confusing them and hiding what they was doing. The Seahawks, man, they masterclass of football, man. It's a shame that they about to sell this franchise. And it really is, because now this franchise is going up for sale. And I wonder how much it's going to go for. But they win a Super Bowl. And I mean, last year I didn't think that they would be this good to win a Super Bowl this way and be the hands down best team in the NFL. Like, hands down, the Seahawks was the best team in the NFL this year. I think all of y'all could agree with me on that. Down the stretch, looking the way that they were playing and how consistent they were throughout, the last month of the regular season throughout the playoffs. Like, the Seahawks was on fire. And they built this team, man. The way that they did it was just wonderful, was great. Like, they knew exactly what they needed to get out of the draft. They made all the right choices, and they got there. That's amazing what they did with that franchise, and they about to sell it. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I wonder if they gonna pull back that sale. Y'all, anybody think they ain't gonna sell it no more? You say, yeah, he wasn't ready for this big game. You said you think that's what I just saying that. I just was thinking that. I swear. I didn't even get to see your comment yet, because I was looking at my notes. No bull crap. I'm sitting here looking at my notes, right? I'm looking at my notes, Amanda, and I'm like, and I'm talking, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. You said that. And just came to my mind. I'm like, I don't know. Look, to me, I don't know if they're going to sell it. Why would you sell a franchise who just won a Super Bowl? You just won a Super Bowl. There's going to be a lot of NIL attached to it now, just, so to speak. You know what I mean? The name, image, and likeness of the Seattle Seahawks now, it just went up more. And if you want to buy it now, you got to pay more for it. It's only right? Supply and demand. It's only right. You got to charge him more. You know what I mean? They just won a Super Bowl. You can't sell it for cheap now. Eat that. Well, $7 billion ain't cheap, but you got to go up more. You feel what I'm saying? Facts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can sell it. I don't think you can sell it at this point. Nah, you can't. You can't get rid of it. You cannot get rid of this team. Like, I don't, but business is business. I guess if they come with that real, that outer space money they be spending to go play in outer space, what they be doing? Going to catching rockets to go play PlayStation in overseas. Oh no, that was the submarine that they had controlled with the PlayStation controller. They got down there and got stuck or something. That's crazy. That's insane. Oh man. You said what? You said he couldn't make the layup throws, and Campbell was light in the ass. Oh my God, getting bullied all day on the offensive line. Got pancaked. I got that in the notes too. Getting pancaked all down. It was all crazy. It was crazy. I guess it happens in the NFL, but I've seen it happen this year more than I have ever seen it in football. Like, I've seen it happen in the NFL, like, periodically, but I've never seen this many offensive linemen get bullied, literally bullied, and end up on their butt and their back at the end of a play more than I have this year in the NFL. Never seen it more than this year. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what these boys is out. I don't know what these men is out here doing, but that's insane. Your offensive lineman ending up on their back is crazy. That's crazy. That's insane right there. You said what? It's basically sold already. They just had to wait until the end of the season. Wow. He said, Smokey, hit the link, my guy. I feel that. That's what's up. Yeah, you come up. The link is already up there. You said, oh, it's gone, Cliff? You think that it's gone? They sold it already? They had to wait to the end of the season? Well, from what I was reading and from what I read, a couple of articles that I had read about the team, Jeff Bezos and them were in talks with them for selling the team. You know what I mean? Like, they talked to him about buying the team, but I don't think anything was final. I don't think I read anything about being final. But look, you may know something that I don't know, Cliff. So that's why I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Because because I don't know if they actually sold. You know what I mean? If they was already sold the team or what. So Cliff coming up right now, so he gonna explain because you know what I mean. I didn't know. What up, Cliff?
What up, bro?
Ain't nothing. What's up? What's up? So what you hearing about the sell of the team? What's
Well, I
that?
heard that they sold it. I forgot the company or the dude's name that has the company.
Mm-hmm.
They just had to wait for the season to be over and everything.
Okay. Cause I
Yeah.
okay. So they already had sold it. Like who bought it? Was it Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, that bought it?
You know what? I don't know if it was him. I'm not sure. I can't remember the name because
Okay.
it's been like over a month with the last time I saw that article.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Yeah. So the new one that I had saw was saying something about Bezos. The last show I think I did, I had pulled it up on there and it was about Bezos. So I don't know. I'll check it now. I'll check it now real
Oh,
quick while we out there.
they were saying that Jeff Bezos was well, shoot, hey, if he owned it, it's really going. Uh,
It,
it
it
might
was
go to
just
shit. Excuse my friend.
all right, so report. So I'll pull it up so everybody can see it too. So y'all know, like y'all seeing exactly what I see. I'll pull it up too. So because I ain't do nothing, I just put a simple Google search in for it. I ain't go all out and do nothing different. But it says as of the February 8th of 2026, the Seattle Seahawks are not officially listed for sale, though credible reports indicate a sale process for the franchise is expected to begin following the Super Bowl. Owned by Paul G. Allen Trust, the team is set to be sold for a fulfilled estate planning, with the potential valuations estimated between $9 billion and $11 billion, which will break NFL
Mm.
records. Wow.
Well, you know what? That was probably them putting that out after that article I saw to rebuttal it. But
Okay.
hey, who knows now? Because I don't even know how old he is, the owner,
Now they said they
and I don't
so yeah. Go ahead.
and
Finish.
I don't know if I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how long he's been the owner. I don't know if he owned them
Mhm.
even back, you know, back in the old when they were in the AFC,
Okay.
when they were playing at the Seattle Metrodome
Mhm.
with of course Steve Largent and Zorn and Beasley and Kurt Warner and all of those guys.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, I probably named some players people don't know in the chat or whatever, but yeah, just go look that up and you'll see they had a nice squad. They always ran up against if it wasn't Pittsburgh, it was
You said back when they had Largent.
yeah,
Oh yeah, see, that's before my time, but I know about Steve Largent though.
yeah, and Zorn and Beasley, the safety that just passed.
Was it the Raiders? I don't know.
I'm sorry, Kenny Easley.
Okay,
And they had Kurt Warner, the original Kurt Warner from he went to Penn State.
okay,
Um yeah, they had a pretty good squad.
good franchise
But
then, right?
yeah, but they always ran up against Pittsburgh or if it wasn't Pittsburgh, it was either Houston or somebody. Yeah,
Houston. Well, that's when they had the Oilers.
yeah, yup,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
The was like I don't know if it was the Raiders or not. I know the Raiders always was a good franchise back then too. So I don't know
Yeah,
if it was
yeah,
that.
them too. Yeah, I mean, hey, they conference
Yeah.
was pretty tough because I think the conference Seattle was in was with Kansas City, and
Mhm.
Denver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was fire, right? Yeah, that
and
was.
back then I think it was 5 teams. So it was what Kansas City, Denver, the Raiders, and I'm not sure if it was Houston or somebody else.
Houston was it? Like, There's the Raiders. That was it. The Houston, San Fran, not San Fran, but what was I about to say? I don't know if it
No,
was the.
it was the Raid. I think it was the Raiders, Houston, KC, and Denver.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it say the potential buyers. It was just so there's speculation surrounding that billionaires capable of such purchase. So just speculations. The only people they think that could afford the team is Jeff Bezos. He's been mentioned a lot throughout non-official bidders, but it had been confirmed. Like it hasn't really been confirmed, but Jeff Bezos got that kind of money to buy the team, so he's just a name that been floating around. It's not. Um, I don't know if it's a for sure thing that Bezos could buy it. I think they're just speculating on who can buy the team. Like you know what I mean. So I just want to clarify it's just they just speculating on who can afford the team, not really saying that Bezos is going to buy it. All right. And you was right too. So it was saying so because there's an article right here that's on ESPN, as you can see here, Cliff saying that the Seahawks will go up for sale after the Super Bowl. And that was like in January, this article was written. So you are right, you are correct about that too.
Yeah.
To let you know, you right, you on point, Cliff.
For sure. For sure.
All right.
So, man, dog. What was? You know what? I want to ask you this, trucking, because I don't know. I didn't watch too much of Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
What problems do Drake May have as far as what defenses stifle him? What
Oh,
is it cover two disguised as something else? Is it another coverage and then disguise and go into cover two? What I mean, if you know, or just give me your opinion, what do you think?
I haven't. I'm gonna keep it real. So I haven't really. I haven't studied Drake May to see what Drake May's been struggling with defensively. What defenses he been struggling with defensively. But I could just sum it up and just simply say that he's struggling post snap read. Like you know what I mean. Like it seems like he knows what he wants to do with the ball pre snap, but when you know what I mean. But post snap, when they're showing him something different, he's holding the ball long, so he's not even understanding what's going on post snap. I could say that's what's going on with him, causing him to hold the ball too long, and
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean, and it get throw his timing off, and with not understanding where the pressure's coming from. He sees where the pressure coming from, but he's not really understanding where exactly it's coming from. So post snap reads is horrible for Drake May, but I haven't seen like what coverages. Is it cover three? Is it quarters or a cover two or you know what I mean, simply man up, that's giving him problems. Like, so I haven't seen that though, but that's something definitely I'm gonna look into so I can answer that question for you next time for sure, Cliff.
For
Um,
sure, bro. Because I want to know. He really held the ball longer than I had really actually seen him hold it all season tonight.
facts, facts.
Um, actually, you had a great take, bro. Both defenses were on their game. It's just I think Sam Darnold has seen everything, so he was able to make the adjustment and do what he wanted to do, even though he had the big help of the running game.
Yeah.
But I think his experience was actually the difference in this game.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, and look, and Drake May had the time. I mean, on a lot of those throws, Drake
Yeah,
May had the time to throw the ball correctly, but his clock was already sped up because he was getting sacked and hit. So he's thinking he don't have the time on some of those, like on some of those throws, and his clock is sped up. So he's throwing the ball and it's off the mark. He didn't have his feet set correctly. He done took the quick step to the left and then threw it, you know what I mean, instead of
right.
resetting his feet, you know what I mean, and actually getting the ball off. And it threw off his mechanics a little bit. And I guess you could say, like, when you watch a game like this, I mean, that you can actually tell now how important it is for a quarterback's mechanics to be set correctly in order for him to deliver the ball the right way to his receivers. Because if it's not, it could be off a little bit to the left or low. He missed low on some of the passes. He was holding the ball long. He was wide of his receivers, like and that was largely because of his mechanics tonight and his post snap reads, man. Like I was just like, and I thought Drake May, and I want to give credit to Raw, you know what I'm saying? Because I know he don't be around all like that, but he was mentioning like how bad Drake May was throughout the playoffs, right? And he was scrambling a lot, making up for a lot of his decisions. And that's normally what he does. Because when he don't see what he likes, and I think it's like 1-2, he might go 1-2 read, and then he just taking off, bro. It's not even like he's going through his full progression because had he was doing that, his check down was there all night long. Like, you got to be checked down, Charlie. Ain't that what they call it now? Like, go ahead and take that, man. Take what the defense is giving you. Don't try to be greedy with it. Just take what the defense is giving you. If the check down's there, keep taking it. Eventually, they're gonna have to send somebody up on it. But the Seahawks are so well. Them cornerbacks are so well at tackling that they were sitting the flat sometimes, and then they had the outside linebacker sitting there. They had their nickel guy. They covered the flats covered coming up, making those tackles. The Patriots, I thought, did defensive coordinator did well with that. Our play caller, because I think he's a linebacker coach, but he calls the plays. But their play caller for the defense, I think he did well with that too. But they were just missing tackles in an open field, like those one-on-one tackles where the Seahawks was making them, the Patriots were missing them. So
yeah.
I
mean, I was shocked that the offense for New England was that stagnant.
Yeah.
Considering Josh McDaniels has been been here 5-6 times.
Yeah, man.
But it goes to show, regardless of how good your coordinator is, if your player can't, execute, then the whole thing gets shot.
Facts. And another thing too, another simple analysis of the game too, just simple, just what I mean, it ain't nothing spectacular or nothing. They couldn't run the ball tonight either.
I know. I mean, it's not like they really, I don't know. I don't think they really gave it like a chance.
Nah. I mean, when they were behind, when they started getting behind, they have, you got to start trying to make some plays and try to get some chunks out of the defense. But I don't think they were patient enough, man. I don't know why they was rushing a lot through this game. It's just like the Seahawks just was like, they took this game. They just played so methodically in this game. They did. Like, it just seemed like they was like, look, we're going to run the ball. We're going to get these yards. Because I thought that Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, they could have gave them a spark, man. I think they just, only down 9-0. You're not down 10. You know what I mean? You down, well, that's 2 scores in the NFL, but you're not down, 15, 21-0. You know what I mean? You only down 9-0 coming out of half. Like, give it a chance, man. And I think you're right, man. I got to look at the stats. I'm going to get the stats pulled up real quick so we could just, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't see too much of that neither, but they couldn't run it. And, the couple of times that they did try to run the ball, they couldn't. It wasn't successful. And if you look back at all the Patriots games that they did win, their running game was successful too. You know what I mean? Drake May was successful, but they also were running the ball well. And, I mean, some of his unscheduled quarterback scrambles added to those rushing yards too, but they did run the ball pretty good with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson throughout the season. But the Seahawks took all that away. It's like they said, look, if y'all gonna beat us, if you're gonna beat me tonight, McDaniels, you're gonna need Drake May to beat me. Drake May has to win this game. I'm taking your run game absolutely away, but I'm gonna look at the stats real quick just to be sure of it. But I was like, but just the eye test and watching the game, I'm like, man, run the ball, son, man. Like, what is y'all doing? Like, that's our bread and butter. Y'all went and did something total opposite. Like, it kills, like, it bothers me. And I bring this up and I use this analogy a lot, lately I have been, because like Lamar Jackson, have 1,000 yards in this regular season rushing the ball, 10 touchdowns, and get in the playoffs and don't run. Like, y'all can't. Do y'all remember that Super Bowl, Cam, when it was the Panthers and the Broncos, and Peyton Manning's year he went to the Broncos, right? Y'all remember that Super Bowl? Y'all, do you remember that, Cliff?
Yeah. Yep.
And Cam Newton made Von Miller look like Von Miller was running a 4-3.
Yes.
Because Cam Newton would not run the ball at all. At all. I was like, and I remember that game because my son got so emotional. We both were sitting there and we were so emotional. Like, that's one of those Super Bowls where it crushed me watching. Like, I'm not even a Panthers fan, but it crushed me watching that game because I'm so much of a Cam Newton fan that I'm watching that game and I'm like, yo, like, why are you not running, Cam? Like, take off on these dudes. Like, you've been doing it all season long. You wait to get in this game and try to throw for 300 yards. Like, what is you doing? Are you on the take Cam Newton? Like, nobody was stopping Cam Newton that year. There wasn't a defensive team in the NFL that could stop Cam Newton. Not one. There was nobody in the league that was messing with Superman. He get in the end zone and do that every single time. Rip it every single time. It was like nobody could stop Cam Newton that year. And Luke Kuechly was on fire. Luke Kuechly was on fire. The hands down the best middle linebacker in the league that year was Luke Kuechly. I mean, he was the heart and soul of that Panthers defense. And they let old Peyton Manning beat him. I mean, go say Peyton Manning ain't big, but Von Miller's name largely got big off of that game. If y'all remember, like that, I mean, he had a good regular season, but that game right there where he, like, you know, strip sack Cam Newton and sack Cam Newton really put a whole different name on him. I think Cam Newton got him paid like $10 more million a year just from that game. Like, say, I know it's crazy to say that, you know, I mean, it's not a fact, but it's just crazy. Like, I don't see how that happened. Like, you just get in a game and do something totally different than what you're supposed to do, man. But anyway, let me look up these stats, man, because I ain't even get them pulled up because I started talking about that Cam Newton Super Bowl. Got the stats right here. I'm getting them pulled up now, y'all. I couldn't see no comments or nothing, so y'all let me know if I got any, but because I couldn't see none. Let's see, the rushing yards for the Patriots is what we want to look at, right? All right, so they got the Patriots rushing yard. Yeah, bro, they ain't what? That's insane, y'all. Y'all see it? Y'all see it up there on the screen? Can y'all see it? Can y'all see them stats? That's crazy. So if you can't see the stats here, I'll try to make it bigger for y'all, and I'll read them off to y'all as for the people who can't see them. If you just, you know what I mean, got us on audio or whatever, however you got us tuned in. But it say the Patriots, so Drake May was the leading rusher in the game, y'all, with 30. He had 5 carries for 37 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, y'all, had 7 carries for 23 yards, was averaging 3.3 yards a carry. Travion Henderson had 6 carries for 19 yards. He was averaging 3.2 yards a carry. He had a log of 9 yards. Bust one for 9. Ramondre bust one for 6. But no, they didn't run the ball. They ran the ball, 13 and 5 with 18 times in the game. That in the whole entire game. They ran the ball 18 times in the entire game. The Drake May dropped back 43 times. He was 27 for 43, 295 and 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sacked. I thought he got sacked 7 times. But they took that strip sack away, one of them. That was 7 times. That should be 7. But
he got sacked 7?
Yeah, they broke the Super Bowl record.
Oh, okay.
Unless they took it away from something. Anybody out there know in the chat why is it saying sick? Did they take one of those sacks away? Because I could have swore when I was watching the game, it came across the bottom of the screen was like that's a Super Bowl record of 7 sacks. But that's too much. They put way too much on Drake. I mean, he was doing that in the regular season, but on this team, 18 times y'all ran the ball. Like, you got that one-dimensional with this defense. No wonder they sacked you 7 times in the Super Bowl. I mean, I thought that delay, like, they come out, okay, I wrote it down, man. I got it in my notes, but they came out and one of their drives, because I did it drive by drive. I did first drive all the way to like the 13th or 14th drive. But they came out on one of these drives and it came out with a simple shotgun delay run, and I thought it would look good too. I think it was the Patriots that did that. Just a simple delay handoff. Running back delay, straight up the middle, and I think they got a couple yards out of it, and it looked real good. It you know what I mean? And they just went away from it. Like, puts way too much pressure on Drake May in this game. Way too much pressure, man. A tremendous amount. You can't have him throwing 40 that many times. Like Sam Darnold, he was 19 for 38, 202 yards, a touchdown, no picks. He only had a 75 rating, 74.7, rounded up to 75. I would. Kenneth Walker had 27 carries, 135 yards on the ground, averaging 5 yards a pop. Yeah, he was killing them. He was killing them tonight. He sure was. Cooper Kupp, lead receiver, 61 yards. AJ Bardner, 54, had a touchdown. Defensively was Ernest Jones had a good game. Devon Witherspoon, Josh Jobe, yeah, he had a good one. I think who was on the Patriots? I want to see who was the defense. Was it Gonzo or was it Craig Woodson? He was going off. He played it good. And anytime you got them safeties making tackles like that, that ain't good. That's not a good sign when your safety got the most tackles on your team, bro. That is not good. Safeties and DBs leading in tackles, not a good sign at all. That means that they was definitely getting to the second level. Took Robert Spillane completely out of the conversation tonight. Ex-Steeler, went to the Raiders. Now he's over there in New England right now, but they took him out of the game. And you can't wait till them linemen get into the second level. That's dangerous for the defense. Easy money for them boys. Let me read some of these comments while I'm going through it. You said New England. You said New England are losers. They made history with the most sacks in the Super Bowl at 6 losers in Super Bowls. Wow. They made it to Super Bowls, though, to lose them. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, that's something else, too, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like look, you ain't got to say nothing to me. You ain't got to make me hate the Patriots because I don't like the Patriots. If it wasn't for the New England Patriots, you know what I'm saying, back in the 2000s, beating it, you know what I mean? The Steelers would have had more Super Bowls. Big Ben would have had more. So, you know, because they was the only team knocking us out of the playoffs every time. It was always them. You said, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, Carolina girl. Man, look, Manda, I knew it. Look, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's what I saw. Talking about that Cam, man. Cam is that dude, man. And it hurt me watching it. So I can only imagine with you. And you, what? I was tight. I was so mad at him. Like, what are you doing, yo? Never drop back and ran. But let me get some. I'm gonna get into these notes. So y'all gotta hang with me here because I went drive by drive. I literally went drive by drive through the whole entire game, y'all. And I'll start with like the second. I'll start with like the third drive. I ain't even gonna go through the first, but in the third, like, so we'll go straight to the second drive where Drake May had hit Kevin Booty with like a first down, hit him for like 15 yards on the first down. Then they went to Travion Henderson for a run. It was like -1 yards on a run. Then they went to Travion Henderson check down. I think that went good. And then on a second drive of the game, Josh Jobe stopped it all up. And then it was a Devin Witherspoon sack. Then they punted. So that was a punt their second drive. Seahawks third drive, back-to-back Walker runs. He got like 1.5 yards apiece on them. Then Darnold went to AJ Bordner for like a 10-yard pass. Then it was a jet sweep to Shaheed that Woodson tackled for a loss. Good defense on him. I know y'all remember that one when Woodson got back there. They tried to go to him. Darnold went to Jackson Smith and Jigma. That was incomplete. Back-to-back times. Tried to hit him for like a 13-yard. What was it? Hate the name of those routes. Anyway, but he didn't hit him on that route, and that was an incomplete pass there. Then the Patriots. So we go to the Patriots third. Am I still on? Yeah, the Patriots third. So that was the Seahawks third. The Patriots third drive. May tried to hit Henry. That was incomplete. If y'all noticed that on that pass, Kobe almost had a pick on that play. So that was almost another pick that he almost had on that particular play. And I wrote it down like that because when he went to Hunter Henry, I think he was like late on that read, held the ball a little too long, and Kobe almost jumped that route. Should have had that pick. Was a good pass breakup though on that third drive. And then on that play, what is it? Jared Reed, defensive lineman, came and stuffed the run with Henderson, so no gain again. Trying to run on late downs just don't work. Already behind the chains after he threw incomplete passes. That was another thing with the Patriots. Wanted to point that out because I got that here. On the fourth drive of the Seahawks, Darnold, they got busy on this drive, but they only got 3 out of it. They went up 6-0 after this drive. Sam Darnold went to Shaheed. Big play, got broke up. Good defense by Christian Gonzalez on that play right there because he made a lot of those saving plays for the Patriots tonight. Kenneth Walker right after that, had a big run. I think it was, a 30-yard run on that play on this drive. Sam Darnold, then he tried to pass. It got batted down. That was a batted down pass, but then they went inside zone run again with Kenneth Walker for another big gain. There was a 29-yard run on that. That was when he had that 30-yard run and that 29-yard run. This is that drive, their fourth drive. Then Kenneth Walker, they went back to him, lost 2 yards. That was chasing from the Patriots that came in. He came all free off that edge. And that was crazy because, well, the play after that, chasing came free off the edge and sacked Darnold, but it was an incomplete pass. Sam Darnold didn't account for that man. And this is a case of quarterbacks not having and not knowing, counting their defensive players. And because they had the blockers, they had all the blockers there, had their tight end there, I believe, on that play. But chasing, he didn't account for him, and that was his man. That was the quarterback's man. You got to get your running back, put him on the left side of you, and then Walker would have been responsible for picking up chasing, but Darnold didn't pick that up. Chasing came free, broke up the play on that particular play. So there is on occasions where quarterbacks are responsible to count the defensive players and understand how many defensive players are coming on a blitz. And chasing's just an end. So he didn't even account for him on that play. Totally missed that. Got confused with the other blitz. So both defenses, it was a chess game going on, chess match, none less to say that, right? And then Sam Darnold, right after that play, they went to that K Walker toss, was no gain on that. Then they kicked the 39-yard field goal. Mayers made the most field goals in field goal history because he went up 6-0. Fourth drive for the Patriots, Travion Henderson 3-yard run, started off good with that during the plus territory. Then he went then Riley Mills from Notre Dame, shout out Notre Dame. Cliff straight up bullied that guard on this play, straight up bullied him, got back there and sacked me. That was that play where Riley Mills had came up. And it was like they was trying to block him, but he went through the guard, pushed the guard back into Drake May's lap, went through him to grab May, and took both of them down at the same time on that play, which was crazy. Like, I just not seeing that. Like, when do you see grown men get bullied like that? When have we seen that? Like, when have we, like, I just want to know. Because I've been watching football forever. I just started doing this maybe almost 3 years ago now. But I've been watching football forever, my whole life. And I've never seen a grown man get bullied like that. Not on TV. Never seen that. But that was a crazy sack by Riley Mills. Shout out to him because that was a great sack. It was. Took both of them down on that play. But then they was trying to get the ball out of his hands quick. They was trying to. Went to a screen pass to Stephon Diggs on this drive, their fourth drive. 5-yard screen pass. I think it was like 9:28 in the second quarter left. Didn't work. Got 5 yards out of it, but that ended in a punt also. Seahawks fifth drive. Kenneth Walker, 10-yard gain. Came out. Christian Gonzalez missed a tackle on that play. That's why that was a 10-yard rush. But then they went back to Kenneth Walker again for a 2-yard gain. Sam Darnold was under pressure, but he went to a check down to Walker, which ended up being incomplete. But then he went back to because remember he had the first down, so Sam Darnold went to Cooper Kupp for a 5-yard gain. Darnold on that particular play, if y'all remember, after that, and then he went to the check down to K Walker. Right after that play, Milton Williams came in and he shook him right off. Sam Darnold was throwing them boys off him. Like, you can't, they missed a lot of them sacks, opportunities. The defense was hitting home for the Patriots. He threw them off him. You know what I'm saying? Check down to Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, then the next play, 4 more yards. Kenneth Walker again for 2 more yards. Then Kenneth Walker dropped the pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy because he was backpedaling on that play. But Spillane was right there. So I don't know if he heard Spillane's footsteps on that play or what, but he definitely was backpedaling. He was not on his job on that particular play. The Patriots' fifth drive came out, was a run for 3 yards. Straight off the bat, that worked. And they go away from it. Like, when you're getting 3 in the NFL, that's good. Because now you 2nd and 7. You still ahead of the chains. Drake made a Hollins with incomplete, went for a 9-yard pass. Don't know why, but that's what they did. He was just off on that period, on that particular play. Timing was off by now a little bit. Just clock speeding up, rushing. They only down 6-0 at this point. Then they went to Douglas for 8 yards. That was a good pass. Then they went to Ramondre Stevenson for 3 yards for a 3-yard run. That worked, successful again. But then they go right back to Drake May trying to throw the ball incomplete because Mafe was on him on that play. I don't know if y'all remember this play, but Mafe came in and Drake May was just, kind of just trying to keep him off and just threw the ball away. So he's like trying to stiff arm him on that play and just threw the ball away. Mafe was all over him. So he had to get rid of the ball. But like y'all running the ball, y'all doing well. You hit it a change. Like why not? Y'all only down 6-0 at this point. But and it was getting close to the 2-minute warning, but still though. But then we had our first penalty for false start on Campbell. Y'all remember that? So that happened, but he also got pancaked by defensive lineman, and that did happen. Most definitely happened in the game. So the Seahawks 6th drive, they came out. Sam Darnold straight out came out cooking. They had their best field. At this point, they was playing field position in this point in the game, the whole game up to this point. And the Seahawks started off with their best field position of the game. All right. So I think they started off in like the 43 or something like that. And Sam Darnold with the Cooper Cup for 7 yards hit him. Then went back, ran the ball with Kenneth Walker for 7 yards, 2-minute warning hit. They came out of the 2-minute timeout. You know what I'm saying? Kenneth Walker came out 1-yard gain. Woodson did it again, came up with a good play. Then Sam Darnold he hit the Halani, is how you pronounce his name? Halani, the backup running back, hit him for like a 6-yard gain, came back, handed it off to Halani, went up the middle, got the first down. Sam Darnold went to Cooper Cup again, 7 yards. And then he tried to go back to Cooper Cup after that. That was an incomplete pass. Then he went to Jackson Smith and Jigma, but that was the pass where he tried to hit him in the end zone, and I think it was a little bit late. Had he thrown it early, he got it. You know what I mean? He made it, squeezed it in there, but that was some good coverage by Christian Gonzalez because he most definitely tried to hit him with that double move, and it didn't work. And he just got in there. He didn't get both hands, but you got to make that play because you take 3 points off the board. Like those little missed opportunities like that in that particular play. Could have took 3 points off of it. Even if the Patriots don't score, they go in halftime down 6-0 instead of it being the Seahawks kicking a field goal and going up 9-0. If Christian Gonzalez gets that pick, so then whatever. But now I want to talk about, before I go in the second half, I kind of want to go about the game, and I want to talk about this halftime show. What did y'all think of this halftime show? Because we got to talk about it. What did y'all think about this halftime show? Because that was pretty much the first half of the football game. Seahawks up 9-0. What did y'all think of this halftime game? Get in the comments. We got over 20 people watching. I want to know, just simply yes or no. Simply yes or no. Or put a 1. Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. Did you like the halftime show, yes or no? I'll wait. I'm going to wait. Because I want to see what y'all going to say. I'm going to wait because we got over 20 people watching. So most definitely, I want to hear what y'all got to say. I'll wait. Y'all want me to play some music while I'm waiting? But y'all want some R&B or y'all want some hardcore beat? Too hard? We'll wait. Yep. I'll wait. I want to hear. Yes, sir. I want to hear what y'all got to say about the halftime show as a game. I want to hear what y'all got to say about the halftime show as a game. One more time, I want to hear what you got to say about the halftime show as a game. I want to hear what you got to say about the halftime show as a game. What they shaking booty meat? What they doing? I don't know. Nah, I know you could play it. Listen, you said you ain't paying attention, Amanda, because you said, wait, I didn't pay attention because it didn't catch my attention. Look, I didn't even watch it. Couldn't watch it. I did see a piece of it. And I was upset because my kid was watching. I was mad and I made him turn it off. Now, I mean, to see it, I guess you got to say, well, you was watching it kind of hard to see this, but if I'm not mistaken, I said, was it dudes dancing with dudes, grinding on dudes or something like that? Like, I mean, it's going to come out. It's going to come out tomorrow. They're going to point it out. I mean, like, look, I don't care what you do with your life, um, and your private life. I don't knock you for none of that. Don't get it twisted. I really don't, because I mean, I have siblings that are like that, like literally, like, you know what I mean. So I don't, don't diss anybody for their sexual preferences on that. But I do think that you should have some kind of respect and privacy for that. You know what I mean? That's not something, and I don't think that it's just how open it is. I think you got to have some kind of manners, no matter if you're heterosexual too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, there's places and times to be and act a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And we all know, period, point blank. I don't care what you got to say. We all know that certain way, that ain't right to just do it out in the open like that. And then just, you know what I mean? To put it on that it's happening in the world. I'm pretty sure that there's football players who swing that way. I'm almost positive about it. Would they get criticized for it and critiqued? Probably. But I think it's another thing when you just flaunting it out there. I think there's just certain things that you just don't do like that, bro. I just honestly didn't like it. I didn't like that part of it. But but and that was because of what I said. My kid was watching it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And he's shocked. Like, what? Like, what's that? You know what I mean? So now I got to explain to my 9-year old, no matter what y'all think or what y'all saying about me right now in y'all head about the Bears and the Bees. Gotta have that talk early, right? Why? Why am I doing that with my 9-year old? Because of the things that y'all are allowing to go into the TVs. The things that y'all, regardless of what y'all saying, like, growing up, we had a different kind of hip hop music, and it had a lot to do with the way that we dressed, the way that we act, the way that we talked, the way that we walked, right? Um, and that's what we had. A lot of the things we seen on TV, some of the cartoons, some people reenacted that stuff. It wasn't all the kids who did it, but some kids did do that stuff. Some kids were heavily influenced by what they seen on videos and TVs and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it still happens. What they see on their tablets, on their phones, and whatever else. You could put all of the parent blocks on stuff, because PG-13 sometimes be buck wild with it. But I don't want to go into too deep with this or nothing like that. I just think, like that, like I said, I stand on what I said. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's different, but then you can't get mad at me for how I raised my child and the things that I'm telling my child, because of the things that y'all putting out there. And as the media, the mainstream media, the things they're putting out there, the things that they're trying to do to our children. You know what I mean? And now we have to have those talks early. You know what I mean? Got to be okay with things. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are not right with that. Do I hate you for being the way you are? No, I love you for who you are. I love you for who you are. I'm gonna respect you for who you are. I'm going to support you and be there for you for who you are. Going to continue praying for you for who you are. But do I condone it? No, I don't. And I'll tell you that I don't condone it. And you know what I mean? And I think people that know that still would respect that and not bring that to somebody's household or bring that around children. You know what I mean? Or to do something as blatant and put it out there that openly. All right. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But you know what I mean? I'm not, because I don't want to come off like, you know what I'm saying, some kind of hate person or anything like that. But I think it's crazy that they do things like that in that particular way. And I'm going to speak on stuff like that because I think there's everybody got to put you know what I'm saying? People should start speaking on stuff like that, because there's a time and a place to act like that. You know what I'm saying? That, like, do I think me walking in the grocery store and smacking my wife's ass is cool? Nah, I don't think so. There's a time and a place for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might try to sneak and do it walking down the aisle if ain't nobody down there, but I'm not gonna be at the cash register and there's kids right there and me just grab her butt like, you know what I'm saying? But would I be wrong? You know what I'm saying? When y'all got clearly, when y'all are putting on national TV two grown men out there, I mean, I mean, or what I say, slow, R. Kelly slow grinding on each other on TV. Craziness, bro. Crazy. You said I didn't see it. You can talk about it. Doesn't mean you hate anyone. Nah, like I mean, I don't, you know, Amanda, I put stuff like that out there, you know what I'm saying, just for disclaimers, like, got to, like, you know what I mean? Because somebody hear a clip or clip something, you know what I'm saying, put it out there and try to destroy you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to watch what you're doing out here. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? I learned that, you know, somebody could just easily say, like, oh, or see me at work and say, oh, he hate this kind of person or something like that. Listen to what he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta, and it's a shame it's like that, Amanda, but it's just the truth. Like, it's just the truth. That's how people are. And it's not everybody, but there is people out there who would do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. People do things like that. But I don't think it's right for them to put something out there like that. I don't. You know what I mean? Because like I said, and back to what I was talking about, like, I'm not at the grocery store and in the grocery line humping on my wife, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Touching her, filling her all up in the front of everybody. Like, everybody kid ain't got to be, you know what I'm saying? That's not cool to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a place and a time for that to do that. You know what I mean? I got the car ride on the way home. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, because you never know what somebody's kid might be exposed to and what somebody else's kid is not exposed to. But to do that in a football game, to have that on a halftime show at a football game is that's unacceptable. And where have we gotten in society, and where have we gotten, y'all, to the point where they're putting things out there like that? Like, I mean, look, it's a lifestyle. It is. Like, then there's nothing wrong with people being the way, you know what I'm saying, that how they are. There's nothing wrong with that. But where have, like, even back in the 70s or whatever, like, they kept that private. They kept their lives private. You know what I'm saying? They still condoned themselves as who they were, did their jobs, but they kept their private life private. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays you got bars, you got clubs, everything. You got places to where you feel safe to be yourself. But that don't mean that you got to clearly keep putting it in children's faces and then saying you're not trying to convince children to not go certain type of way. You are, because that's what they see. They think it's cool. They want to be Christian Gonzalez. They want to be Drake May. They, you know what I'm saying? So they watching the game. Some of them don't even probably look at Bad Bunny the way we do because that's their new fashion. You know what I'm saying? That's the new fashion. Skinny jeans, real tight jeans. Like, I thought that was weird. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But that's their fashion. So that's the things they into. But, you know, so some of them might not look at the dude the way we look at him, as a little bit older or coming from a certain era. So they watching it. And then they don't even understand him. Like, they didn't even put the captions on the screen to the words or nothing. He could have been on there, like, saying anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, because everybody don't speak it. But, you know, I think it's a bit, and it's crazy because I think it's big, the barrier that they're trying to pull down, because I got mad love for Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and just, you know what I'm saying, mad love. I got two twin brothers who live in South America, right? See, y'all ain't even know that about me. But look, I'm putting a little bit of my business out there. I got two twin brothers who live in South America. And shout out to them. But because my dad got around. He was in the army. Need I say more? But yeah, so I got love for everybody, and I got a love for them. They, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you had to put him to represent the whole. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, Mexican, Spanish people, you know what I'm saying, Dominicans, because you can't say somebody's Mexican if they're Puerto Rican, or somebody's Puerto Rican ain't, you know what I'm saying? You got to get that right. There's Dominican, Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying, Mexicans, Brazilian, you know what I'm saying? You got to get that on point, homie. You can't be mixing that up, because they don't like that. But and let me make that clear. But you, out of everybody, you chose him to represent them at the Super Bowl. I don't even think everybody was cool with that. They probably was like, him? What? No, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Like but this is what it came down to. This is what we have gotten to, and the things that we have allowed because we're scared to either speak about things or scared to say things, or they just don't put certain, or we don't just put certain attention on things because it's not popular, right? So we just go with other things. But I had to say something. Y'all knew I was going. I had to say something about it. I care who feel, how you feel. You know what I mean? I already said how I said it, but you know, if you feel some kind of way, that's on you. But I don't condone that behavior, and that's crazy. And I wish I didn't even want to rewind the clip to bring it up on here to show y'all, but I'm pretty sure y'all will see the clip floating around at some point. Somebody already clipped it. If it's not out there now, somebody talking about it. They'll be definitely talking about it tomorrow. Because it's disgusting. It's crazy. It is. It's don't, like, do not condone. Don't bring that behavior to nobody, to somebody's house and their kids. That's crazy, man. Don't condone that, yo, because they see it and they want to reenact things and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, so look, like, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with y'all. Like in that moment, right? You got girls that's twerking on the screen, right? But they show, and they ain't show it quick, but they showed enough of it, right? They showed enough of it. And I think it was like right by a car or something like that. They grinding on the side of the car. And then I'm like, so right after that, my kid, like, what? And right after that, I'm like, man, we got to turn this off, man. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, but look at the girls. Now I got to direct, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But hey, yo, it is what it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I find nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, with it. And I'm glad that, you know, saying that the one plus thing that I am happy with about today is that a lot of everybody is doing a great job with raising their kids, and y'all ain't trying to raise them colorblind, but y'all also keeping it real with them on who they are in their heritage, because they definitely need to know that. They definitely need to know who they are, but make them aware of their body too. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody trying to take advantage of them, because we got to do that. We got to do those things, man. Because these people out here is crazy, man. You said some of those women weren't even women. Sorry to break it to you. Wow. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. That's a fucking shame, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, yo. Like that, like I don't, oh my God, man. I don't, man. Like, look, that's crazy. That's crazy you said that. JJ, you ain't shit for that. You ain't shit for that. JJ, why you tell me that? Why you tell me that, JJ? Why you tell me that? I'm gonna have nightmares now. She gonna give me nightmares, bro. She gonna give me nightmares. Oh my God, I'm about to have nightmares. You said someone said the performance was a dig against the president, using everything he hates: immigrants, same gender, loving representation, etc. So that's what it was about. A dig at the president. So okay, I get that, right? But why you gotta do that? Why can't you go do that in front of the White House or something? Get invited to go perform for him and do that privately or something like that. Why you gotta do that there in front of all those kids that was at the game? Like I said, there's a place and a time for everything. To make things right, to make a stand for him at that, to do that, like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, every parent in the United States right now should be suing the NFL for putting that on the TV. I'm just saying. We might as well just start a petition. We might as well just start a petition. Just type in the comments. We just gonna send it out that everybody should be suing right now. You done damaged my child for life. You got him thinking a dude is a girl, and you done mess with his head, and you know what I mean, like Jen J just dead me, and And you know what I'm saying? Like, like she done scarred me for life, bro. She scarred me for life, bro. You just scarred me, Jay. You just messed my head up, cause like for real, like that's crazy. You said yes and to stand against ice. So I get that. I get the ice part. I get you know what I mean? Like you want to stand up against ice, like, you know what I'm saying? Then do that. But I mean, you ain't have to do all the extra, man. Like this, like, you know what I mean? All that extra is just crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, once again, like, I do not care what nobody do, but that's insane to be having that on TV like that, bro. Like, we might as well just let it be done. Like, just do whatever you want on TV nowadays. It's wild, bro. But they want this kind of stuff. They want people talking about it and doing all this, you know what I'm saying, hooping and hollering for no reason. A week from now, they'll do something else that have everybody talking crazy. They do try to distract us from what's really going on out there, right? Ain't that what they try to do, y'all? They try to distract us from what's really going on. But man, Jen J done messed my head up, dog. I can't even talk about the game no more. That's a damn shame. They did me like that too. That's crazy. They be looking like that now. They got them. They got it. Would they be making them in the lab now, Jen J? Like, you know what I mean? What they got? That's crazy. That's insane. That is insane, man. That's man. Wow. But right after halftime, we go into the game, right? Go back there to the game. Seahawks come out and they get on their drive, you know what I mean? K Walker 2-yard run. Darnold to Shaheed for like 15 yards. Darnold Jackson Smith for Jigma from 18. Sam Darnold, the pocket broke down. He scrambled for like 13. Then he go back to hand it off for K Walker for another 3 yards. Then he hit the screen pass to K Walker for a big game. And on that play where they hit K Walker, I think it was just a pass to the flats. But that's the play that they had Jackson Smith and Jigma on the left side of him in the shotgun. They had Kenneth Walker on the right side. They sent Jackson Smith for Jigma straight out on like just I don't even want to say it was a Texas route, but it was just straight out into the flats out of the backfield. Everybody had their eyes on him. Kenneth Walker, that was a big game. Good play on that. But then it stalled out too. They stalled him out on that drive. Patriots bounced back on the defense and they held them to 3. Then they went up 12-0 straight out of halftime. Once again, the Patriots drive. This is what it was. I think they came out on their first drive. It was Travion Henderson had an 8-yard run. I think that was his biggest run of the game. Turned around, had another 1-yard gain. 3rd and 9, went to a pass. 3rd and 1, went to a pass. Why? Why you going back passing the ball? For what? You good. Punt. Then start them out again. Then they go back on the 8th drive of the Seahawks. Sam Darnold straight out came out. Williams sacked him. I think it was like a 10-yard loss. They think they counted to like 8. I don't know why, because where his forward progress was stopped or something weird like that. But I thought it was like 10 yards, but they gave him 8 anyway. But then he went to Jackson Smith for Jigma for 3-yard screen. I think that's where he got hurt with that little concussion or whatever he had going on with him. Kenneth Walker, 7-yard run right after that. They punted the ball. But then this is only when the second penalty happened. The second penalty didn't come until like, mid-third quarter? The whole second penalty in the game, and it was a block in the back on a punt return. I don't know if y'all remember the Patriots. He didn't even need to block him doing too much. But that was only the second penalty in the game at this point. And the Patriots' 8th drive, Drake May got sacked coming out. Murphy came in. He led the charge on it. So I would like to give credit to him because he started the whole thing, the whole pressure. I think he laid hands on him first, but he was in on the tackle, but that was counted as a half a sack for him, or however they do it now. Hollins, 10-yard pass, then made a booty, went incomplete, then they punted off the bat, like start out after a decent drive, but they killed themselves with that block in the back penalty. Those little opportunities that you get in the game, sometimes that comes in that haunts them, man. You know what I'm saying? That it comes back and it haunts you. The Seahawks 9th drive, Kenneth Walker, he ran. The Patriots did get on that. It was a 2-yard loss off the bat. Then Darnold went to Cooper Kupp. Christian Gonzalez broke it up. Darnold, he did complete a pass. I can't remember who it was on that drive, but it was a punt anyway. Ended with a punt. on that drive. And at this point, this is where the defenses kind of they did good, but this is where they broke down a little bit because the Patriots on this drive on a ninth drive, it was another. I think they went. This is where the delay handoff took place at, and they only went for like four. Went for like four. Should have went for more than that, but I don't know what Travion Henderson was thinking. He was running real top heavy on that play. Wound up getting like 3 on that one, but it's worked a couple times. They just kept going away from it. Every time they did it was positive game, but then they went. What was it? Oh yeah, they dropped back in the pass, dropped back. Drake May did, and this is the third penalty in the game because it was a defensive holding on Devin Witherspoon on this play. So then they get the first down. They come back out, make hit DeMarcus Lawrence. He got hit because of the pressure. Got hit by DeMarcus Lawrence. So then May came out. They went to Henderson in the flats. They got 5 yards back, but then he got strip sacked on that play. I don't even know if y'all remember that. He got strip sacked immediately right after that by Hall. Came in, got that pressure on him. Then on the Hawks drive, Darnold hit AJ Barnell or AJ Barner. What did I say? Barnell. What did I say? That's crazy. On a double, he came out with that double fake. That was crazy. Double fake. With the who was it? Who he faked it to? Was it fake? I know it was a fake jet sweep to Shaheed on that play. Faked it to Kenneth Walker. Faked it to Shaheed. Hit Barner right down the seam on that play. It was a good play too. Decent gain on that play, but then Darnold went next. The Cooper Cup, it got broke up by Woodson. No go on that, but then Darnold went to cut for 10 yards on that pass, but then this the same drive that Darnold hit A.J. Barnell for that touchdown, 11 yards. They went up 19. Now they up 19-0 at this point. 10th drive for the Patriots. Came out. The play broke down. Drake May got out of the pocket, finally scrambled. Then he hit Matt Collins for 24 yards. Then Drake May hit Collins for that touchdown. Back-to-back 20-something yard gains. Then he hit it, came out. They was on fire from there. Momentum swinging a little bit their way because Darnold went to Shaheed for 10 yards. Kenneth Walker, he got stopped in the backfield for no gain on the next play. Darnold, they went in for a screen pass attempt. That happened to be incomplete. Darnold, then he went right back to try to go to Shaheed again. Didn't work. Incomplete pass. They was on him. The Patriots was on him, especially on that screen pass. They came in and they applied that pressure on them, and they punted. Then they came out the next drive. Drake May came out with straight Matty Hooper, incomplete. That's how they start falling behind on these drives. I'm noticing it was trying to come out with Drake May, put the ball in his hands on incomplete passes and not running a ball. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can see, that's the trend, right? They falling behind in that. But then May went to Stevenson, 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? 10-yard pass. It was working. Hitting them check down Charlies. It was working. Then May went to Hollins for a deep pass. That was incomplete. I think that was one of those crazy passes he shouldn't have thrown. Should have got picked, but it didn't. Anyhow, then May went to Henry for 4 yards. That was there. Drake May scrambled on a play breakdown, got 20 yards out of the deal. Drake May went to they was only applying pressure with 4 guys, but the 4 guys, the pocket broke down. He noticed it. He was picking up on it now. Now Drake May is starting to cook in the game. Then he went to Williams for 7 yards, but then he threw that deep pass. Why he throw that pass that way, I don't know. I think he was trying to hit Keyshawn Booty on that play. Some people might say he tried to hit Matt Hollins, but if you notice on that play, that deep crosser, it did look like Matt Hollins on that deep crosser, but Keyshawn Booty was like running, I want to say like a post, and he just like overthrew it. He just overthrew the pass, put way too much on it, being under pressure, timing off, you know what I'm saying, and threw right to Love. We went right to him, right in the breadbasket for him. Seahawks came out that next drive, and they got shut down to a field goal because Kenneth Walker, though, killed them on that drive. He went for a 12-yard run, 10-yard run, 2-yard run, ran again. Then Darnold went to Jackson Smith for Jigma for 4 yards, and they kicked another field goal, went up 22-7 at this point. The Pats' 12th drive, Drake May came out, got sacked by Murphy. Brian Murphy got to him. Drake May went to Stevenson for 6 yards. It was working every time he hit the check down and he was trying to hit Henry or them tight ends, it was working. But every single time Drake May tried to go deep or try to make the spectacular play back there passing the ball, it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. I mean, to sum it all up, and I mean, I got it in my draft notes, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep boring y'all. I just keep going through all the notes. But drive by drive throughout the whole entire game, like it's a pattern. It's literally a pattern, like until you get to, some people like to call it garbage time. You get in a time to where it's like, the Seahawks, they knew they had won the game, kind of, and they like, all right, look, we could take the gas pedal off a little bit. But, I mean, he just, every single drive, you start off passing with May, and then it's incomplete. You already behind. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a 2nd and long rather than 2nd and 7. Those little 3 yards make a difference, especially in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I'll put the play of Drake May on Drake May, but largely going back through my notes and actually having to read them and drive by drive, a lot of that goes on to that McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not run the ball back to back? You know what I'm saying? Why not? You're in a chess match. You know your defense is hitting home. Yeah, I know y'all making plays. I think they gave up on their defense a little too early, and they were getting wore down. You know, because, I mean, Kenneth Walker was running the ball. The offensive line of the Seahawks was doing good. But I don't think that they had to speed him up that way. I think they should have eased him in with those, just hit those little 6-yard passes. So what would people say about a 5-yard pass or a 6-yard pass or a wide receiver screen, or even try to slow it down a little bit and hit a running back screen? And they didn't even try that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even try to do a running back screen pass in that game. Sometimes when you got those defensive linemen coming like that, try to do a screen. Obviously, they can't pass block against this defensive line, because every time you try to do that, they're getting back there. They pushing them back in your lap. You got to do other things to counteract that. And I mean, it sounds simple, I guess, but I mean, he should have known that early on. Like, your running backs is getting through a clip. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool for me. If I can get three yards out of 2 downs off of my backs, I'm cool with that. That's 6 yards. I got 3rd and 4. Now I can hit Stephon Diggs on a quick slant, or a quick, a dig route or out route. You know what I'm saying? The Diggs. You know what I'm saying? It only need 5 more yards to get. I don't even need to throw 10 yards on the field. But Henry and Hooper, between Henry, Hooper, and the running backs, they had that all game. And if you notice, that's exactly what the Seahawks did to win the game. Like, that's crazy. I said that, but that's exactly what Seattle did to win the game. They hit the run. They ran the ball well. Didn't give up on the run. Ran the ball well. And even when they, Kenneth Walker got stopped for -3 yards or -2 yards, they still went back the next play to a run. You know what I mean? Like, okay. The outside zone was killing the Patriots, but also, like, A.J. Barner scored the first touchdown. He put in the end zone. Come on. And then the other touchdown came defensively off a strip sack. So you could say it was a tight end. Like, the tight ends should have been the stars of the game. It should have been Hooper and Henry, 2 tight ends that are great in this game. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are two great tight ends. They really are. And they should have been utilized a lot more in this Josh McDaniels offense tonight. And for some reason, he went away with that, especially after they hit Matt downfield. When they hit Matt Collins downfield like that, it opened up a whole lot more for those tight ends, but it was there. Tight ends was there in the running back. Check them check downs. So, I mean, you learned a lot from that, because, I mean, they had Jackson Smith for Jigma. They was like, he ain't beating us tonight. He is not beating us tonight, to the point where they checked him so hard tonight. He got hurt somehow, his foot or concussion, something it was, but they took him completely out of the game tonight. Completely. They took him completely out. Like, he's not beating us. And the tight ends did, though. And Barner did. And Cooper Kupp stepped up tonight. I don't think I think he was just looking for the same thing to happen. And it was like, no, the same thing is not going to work. This is playoff football. He gonna learn a lot, and he did. He looked very inexperienced tonight. He looked like he was lost, but I think it was something that we should have caught early on through the playoffs, because You go back and you look how he was playing in the playoffs. I don't think it was no different in that Denver game. A lot of people should say that Denver should have won that game. And they probably would have, and they probably would have won if Bo Nix was playing. I see what the difference, what they saying, even though I thought that Stidham played a good game. But you can't turn the ball over in those critical games. Besides that, though, I thought Stidham did a decent job of being a backup. But with Bo Nix in there, I don't think he would have turned the ball over. And I think the Broncos probably would have won that game had they that turned the ball over, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but great game and into a great season, man. Into a great football season, man. Loved it, you know, everything of it. And definitely gonna be around to make more vids. So y'all make sure y'all hit the notification bell too, because y'all know I be making videos, man. I don't be going live all the time, but I'm gonna try to get out here more, do some more lives and throughout the week or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I can tap in with y'all because I like kicking it with y'all, and I appreciate y'all coming to kick it with me too. For sure. But make sure y'all go and follow me on all the platforms. Watch some of the vids because I know I do drop videos. So hit the notification bell. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight, man. Y'all get some rest. Don't get too messed up. Be all hungover tonight after the Super Bowl. But I appreciate y'all. How I always tell y'all, pray for yourself. Pray for each other. Pray for me because I'm always praying for y'all. That's a fact. Always. You know what I'm saying? We need it. We need it nowadays. And one more thing. Jen J, you scarred me for life.